If you fancied building a rocking horse, you could do worse than try this book. This is called The Rocking Horse Maker, and within it are 9 plans for various rocking horses. This is a Victorian style horse based on one in this book. I hope you'll enjoy the pictures you're going to see. I built 2 of these traditional Victorian style rocking horses for my young grandchildren. Design I chose was from the Anthony Dew book mentioned a moment ago and is the small size horse suitable for children between the age of 2 to 5. It's worth pointing out that the finished horses take up quite a bit of floor space due to the use of the safety floor stands which supplant the conventional rocker base. So it's reasonable to think that the larger designs will be even more bulky and will require not just the space to build them, but an adequate floor area. I chose to buy a full-scale plan from a rocking horse shop because, for once, I had no intention of reinventing the wheel, or to put it another way, I doubted I could add anything to the excellent designs offered by them. Traced the parts and glued the tracings to the picture frame as mount board, then cut it to shape with a scalpel. This gave me a firm pattern to draw around and to transfer to the timber. It's important to ensure the grain is in the optimum direction, as short grain makes for weakness and a possibility of breakage when you're using solid wood, unlike plywood. It's quite possible to build the horse using the timber kits supplied by the rocking horse shop, both for the stand and for the horse itself, and of course some of it's already cut to shape for you. But you might prefer to do as I did when I bought the timber in a rough state from the local woodturner's shop. He had a quantity of rough sawn hardwood boards and I had bought enough to make the complete horse and the stand. In the home workshop I put the timber through the thicknesser, planed and cut it to the sizes provided in the plans. I didn't follow the stand plans precisely because I don't have a woodworking lathe, so the turned supports were replaced by shaped blocks. I used my bandsaw to cut the leg shapes and the head as well. I'd built a workshop table for construction work and this proved ideal as a stand for assembly and for gluing up the horse's body and attachment to the legs. Construction was by glue and screws. Assembly was helped by the use of sash clamps, which I believe are essential for this project. The head is built up from separate pieces as seen in the diagram from the book. Again, strong gluing is essential. Each of the timber of the added pieces will be gouged away as the shaping proceeds. Here you can see the head after quite a lot of the main shaping's been carried out. The square block left on the top of the head is to assist in holding in a vise, or, as in my case, my venerable workmate. General leg and body shaping continued. This being carried out by hand, it's a slow job, and in any case I'd advise anyone doing this not to rush, but to take time, stop often, stand back and check progress. As the carving develops, the work becomes finer and the care must be taken to create the all-important details of the horse's head. With the head attached to the body, shaping continued. I use a small gouge chisel with a mallet for much of this work, but if you've got the finances, a power chisel would be a useful and labour-saving addition to your toolkit. As the carving develops, the work becomes finer, and care must be taken to create the all-important details of the horse's head. There's a lot of carving needed to create the smooth contours of the horse's body from the square blocks of timber. A file-type surform and a rasp are useful tools to have on hand. Ordinary files can work, but they tend to cut rather too finely, although for ultimate finishing they might have their uses. I preferred to use grades of abrasive paper working from rough to smooth. At this stage, the bulk of the body and the leg shaping was nearing completion. Once finished, I applied 2-part wood filler to help with the shaping, after which a coat of gesso was applied. When this would hard dry, the gesso was sanded down smooth, ready for further coats or for the final paint application. The eyes and the seat back were fitted and the woodwork of the horse is nearing completion. These photos show the details of the eyes and the seat back. A groove was chiselled out of the neck to take the mane and a blind hole was bored to take the tail. When buying these items, I suggest you purchase real horsehair products, as the man-made fibre ones I used have not lasted well. Dappling is applied with a dappling pad, a small mushroom-shaped handheld pad used to apply the paint in a way as to create circles. The pads were also used to colour the knees. The hooves were painted black gloss. The details around the eyes and in the ears were painted using a fine watercolour rigger brush. The completed horse here is bedecked with harness, stirrups, saddle and decorative items and mounted on the sturdy floor stand and ready for use. All I had to do at this point was to make another identical rocking horse. Fortunately, I had sufficient timber prepared for this.